Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening. Just to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded for the publication on Thatcham Town Council YouTube channel. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Apologies received from Councillor Mike Cole and Councillor Stephanie Stevenson appointed as substitute.
Thank you very much. Do we have any declarations of interest with any of the items before us this evening? No. Perfect. And moving on to item 3. To take the minutes as read and confirm the accuracy of 3(1). Can I have a proposer? Seconder. Thank you very much. It's all agreed. Excellent. I'll sign those now, if that's okay with everyone. Just a second. Yes, go on.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead of you. Many items to what they've done at 3.2. I've got one to raise under 3.2. I would imagine that Jeremy's going to find this a little bit interesting. We went through all the shenanigans about whether we were going to support parking and ride on our car park at Dunstan Park. And as I was walking past and seeing how wonderful, I then walked past the car park for the Old Bluecoat School, where it said that parking is only for patrons and people involved in, I think they called it park and walk. So bearing in mind that Old Bluecoat School said they weren't going to participate and therefore weren't going to get any money from West Berkshire Council towards doing up their car park, they now have a notice up there saying that if you're involved in park and walk, then you can.
They just didn't want to make it a formal arrangement. They're happy because if they've got people using the car park who need the access to the halls, then.
No, absolutely, and thank you for bringing that to our attention. Madam Clerk, is there anything that you feel we need to be brought to our attention here today?
Nothing from me, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Stephanie.
I have something to raise from the last minutes in that the Newbury and Thatcham Repair Cafe, this is at the end of page 1, are appealing for a representative on their advisory group. And I have just checked with the town clerk that we are all yet to be advised of that. So no one's come forward. So could we just check that we all know as councillors that they'd like a representative and one of us needs to step forward, please.
Yep. Should we bring that to the attention of the next full council meeting if we haven't got someone then by then? That would be helpful. Thank you, Stephanie. And moving on swiftly to item number 4. Should we go through this page by page if it's okay with members, but if the clerk has anything that
Just scroll through and
yell. Absolutely, that's yell.
Yell.
Raise your hand and indicate appropriately. Okay, thank you. Is there anything any members have on page number 1, the very first page on it? Remember, if you do something does catch your eye, we are not averse to cantering backwards. Moving over to page number 2, overleaf. Is there anything on that page that we need to be brought to our attention?
Nothing that's not already been notes, Chairman.
No. And page 3. Again. Clerk will indicate if there's anything of special note. Moving on to 4. Again, page 5. 6. In conclusion, page 7.
Chairman, I would just like to add that the reason I haven't got any questions is because they were all addressed in the notes. So thank you for the notes.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is helpful. Sometimes you can sort of dive in somewhere and pop out in another place in financial terms. It's very helpful to have the notes. And thank you for providing those notes. Okay. If now we receive a note, we don't vote on accepting these, do we?
Can we vote to note?
Vote. Okay,
Those we vote to know.
second. Okay, can all those in favour please indicate? Thank you. Okay, this is probably going to be the fastest R&A meeting on record unless we get caught up. Absolutely, yes. Item number 5. Would you like to?
Yes, thank you. So Pan Lane, those who have visited before will probably be vaguely familiar with an unofficial entrance that's been created many, many years ago on the northern side of the park.
By the garages.
By the garages, from the garage area. Whilst it is an unofficial entrance, it has been used for many years, and therefore there is a reasonable duty of care on the town council because we haven't prevented that access to make sure that it's safe. The ground has eroded away quite considerably now, and it's quite a step down from the paved area into the open space. So one of our contractors that does a lot of sort of landscaping type work for us has been out to have a look, and they have suggested some tiered steps down. It doesn't need to be disability friendly because we still have the formal access points on the east and west of the park. Excuse me. So this is above my spending authority, so before committee to seek approval for £3,148 just to make that area a little safer.
Okay. Do members have any questions on that item?
So we'll just, basically it's a matter of safety, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't see any problem with that. The only thing I would say is about pushchairs, getting on and off. I mean, there's also, is it a very high ramp there?
It's the bank along the northern side. It's sort of in the middle of the bank, so it won't be a slope. It will be stepped, but you can come in on the official entrances from Crown Lane and Arkle Avenue, which are straight onto the smooth pathway then.
I would say it's a great improvement. What's there and people are using it, they're going to continue to use it.
Okay.
I'm quite happy with the proposal.
Okay, thank you. And when will the work be undertaken and completed by?
This financial year. So
Oh,
within
quite
the
quickly.
next 5 weeks.
Absolutely. Subject to members' approval, obviously. Could I propose that we accept the
I'll second.
that and members phone again. All those in favour, please indicate. Thank you very much, and so approved. Okay, moving on to St Mary's Churchyard wall.
Yeah, but I'll just say something right at the very beginning. Bear in mind that a chunk of this is part 2, or it needs to be part 2 if we go talking about it. Might it be worth varying the order of the agenda and putting this at the very end? I don't know if there's anybody desperately watching us. Perhaps the not we can use watching us, but
I will ask a question. Yes, Simon?
Don't think it needs to be part two because we're not talking about a specific contractor, are we?
It's still financial.
Yes.
That doesn't
It
matter.
may best go into.
Okay. Doesn't matter if it's financial, it's whether what's involved in individual contract.
Okay, and then could I suggest that we stop the conversation on that with your approval? Now we have to, there is a reading we have to go into for part two, the exclusion of the public.
Yes.
But so with members' permission, can I maybe then stop 7, bounce it to 10, 6?
Just not.
Oh, sorry, my apologies, sorry. 7, bounce it to 10 in that order, and then we'll do, then that, if that makes members comfortable.
Yes.
And then, okay, then I'll propose we do that. Can I have a seconder then, please? Okay, all those in favour, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. So let me just indicate that way round. That is perfect, thank you. And we'll move on to the picnic tables. Are we going to walk into the same issue with part 2 of the picnic tables? No. No, absolutely. Okay. Members of any, well, first of all, that's part 2, just introduce us, so.
So a few years ago, the town council began a programme of installing picnic tables in open spaces, particularly close to children's play areas. That did stop probably 3, possibly slightly more years ago when budgets were impacted by COVID situation. So it's really just bringing it back onto the agenda, literally now, to see if that's something that we want to pick up again. And I've estimated cost of up to 10,000, and obviously we would install as many as we could within that budget. And it can be funded from this financial year's revenue budget. So just to pick that up again.
Yeah. Before we do, would you estimate we'll get 5 new benches or approximately?
I would say probably looking at maybe about £600 each to buy and
pretty
install.
reasonable.
So we would get
A good number. Okay, well, that sounds like an eminently sensible way forward.
Thank you. Following some discussions offline, it might be prudent to get ones that are not susceptible to catching fire. And they're a bit more expensive, so they might reduce the number, but it's obviously you're talking about a total amount rather than a total number of benches, so that would be covered.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think there are ones that are immune from damage, except from people with battery powered angle grinders.
Okay, thank you for that point. Yes, Susan.
Where it says these would be benches rather than picnic tables, where's that referring to? Is it just St Mary's Churchyard? Okay.
Before you said.
2 things. When I was involved with Thurtover Place Guiding Centre, we bought, the friends got together and bought 4 lovely benches to go in the grounds, and they're all from recycled stuff. And they are beautiful, coloured, plastic, very comfortable, very hard wearing, and only need the occasional wash. And I think perhaps they are more fire retardant than the traditional benches. Secondly,
Yes.
not long ago, I had grandchildren who were small. And I was at a meeting here once and said that if we ever got rid of the public toilets, then every grandparent would never come into Thatcham again. And also, for me, as a grandparent with young children, and parents, we know about the mothers, but grandparents as well want somewhere to sit with their grandchildren and somewhere to sit when their grandchildren are playing, and also to have picnics. So I think it makes the playgrounds more welcoming.
Yeah.
I would follow on with Councillor Stevenson's comments. I would say that they, when looking at them, not now, obviously, they'd be close to the playgrounds. So you have somewhere to sit and watch, and they can come out and go back and forth. Not that they're at the other end of the the area that they're placed in, so.
Yep, without going into too many
No.
details about the location and the types and standards. But I'm sure the clerk will inform the contractors, you know, near a shady tree and things like that, because you know, near this, you know, there is perhaps a consideration to be about the locations, but we don't need to get involved in that sort of detail at the moment here. But yes.
I'd like to propose that we resume, because this is a new idea. This is something that we've approved and gone down with in the past. And I think it's an excellent idea to increase the facilities as we go on.
Yep, absolutely. Do I have a seconder there? Owen?
Happy to second.
And can I then ask all those in favour, please indicate in the usual manner? Thank you very much. And that is agreed. Well, it's a good thing to do. It is. And these will be installed time-wise. This financial year is agreed, so they'll be starting the process quite soon.
So they'll be in for the summer.
Absolutely perfect, fantastic. Moving on to item number 8. Back to you again, Eddie.
So I'm sure all members are aware that half of the hedging around the Broadway Green was hit by the box. I forget what it's official.
Caterpillar, is it? Box caterpillar?
I thought it was a drought.
No, it's actually a disease, their disease.
Oh, gosh.
We've had conversations with our grounds maintenance contractor.
Yep.
And I've actually met them on site as well, just last week to discuss them. We were thinking that we would be able to just replace the half that have died. He advised against that because the disease will just see new plants and will continue on again. So his advice is to take them all out now and to treat the soil and then look to replant in the autumn. So the cost has come in to take them out and treat the soil, and that is £552.99. We are in discussions to get a price to plants, bedding plants for the summer, so that there is something there. And then we will get a quote to replace it with probably a different variety of hedging in the autumn, but we'll bring quotes before council in due course.
Okay. Well, thank you for that report. Are you suggesting that the hedges are taken out ASAP and then we plant something in there now? Or are you
So the
leaving them
hedge will
fallow?
come out, the soil will be treated
Right.
and then it will be left until the autumn. But there is a wooden rail, so
Yeah.
it won't be.
Yep, absolutely. Could I suggest that we put up some sort of signage explaining what's happening and that it is not about we're uprooting and that sort of stuff. It is about, you know, it is infestation
Like you would in a.
and that we replace.
Yeah.
And if we can, and again, I don't like to be too specific in this, because I'm not really horticultural, shall we say. Can we replace with something of the similar height, whatever it is, so we don't have to wait for 10 years for it to grow from a scrub. So it's almost reinstated within a year. Does members get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially the signage, because I don't want people to think that we're doing this Thatcham in bloom thing and then we're ripping up shrubberies here and shrubbery there and stuff like that, you know.
I believe the town clerk was mentioning we might be able to put some flowers in instead.
We're going to get a cost to fill the beds with bedding plants, just for a bit of.
Oh, that's what was, okay.
Summer colour.
But you,
Yes.
Chairman, you beat me to it, because I think we're all agreed around here. We need to tell the public what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Exactly.
Rather than just ripping them out and not telling you.
That was nothing worse, is we were back to the Waitrose car park when they took down those trees or what, there's, you know, whatever. So it's, yeah.
So, because I didn't realise and I'm on the town council, didn't realise that they'd had some disease. I think I'm now thirding, if there's such a word, telling the public. Can we have a big notice on our notice board, which is right by there, but quite big? Perhaps with the word hedging or something to attract their attention. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of complaints because people will think what you've just said, Chairman.
Yeah, I mean, even if we're in the beds while it's waiting, just put a stick in and board saying, you know, due to infestation, it'll be replaced and watch this space type of,
Both places, yeah.
you know, it makes sense from our perspective. And of course, we do have a budget for planting this year's. So we could be quite energetic, shall we say, and make one in and one out sort of thing. But I don't quite know how much, if there is to be a fallow period, if you're adding a chemical and stuff like that. So I know there's a lot of dog walkers around there as well, and we just make sure that the dog don't get a disease, if you see what I'm saying, because some of the chemicals can be really quite strong. But that's for you guys to sort out, obviously. Okay, so our members agreed. Yes, Maxim, can I have a proposer? And Ben seconding. All those in favour, please raise your hands. Thank you very much. Gosh, wow, it's excellent. And item 9.
This is a new item, Chairman, that I thought would be quite useful to have as a standing item. So this has gone back to when the new council was elected, and I'll continue it on from here. Just really as a running progress report of actions that have been agreed within the committee and where we're at with them. It might be useful.
Yeah. And this will be rolling, obviously, what's completed then drops out.
Yeah.
And then new stuff will be added and indicated as and when. Okay, yeah, that's members are really just to note that, really, isn't there?
That's right. Yeah.
If I can, Chairman, if I was just throw a comment in, because I have been slapped around the face by Kent and brought into the modern world on real costs and of pieces of equipment and so on. If you look there in the lamppost play area, replacement bearings on multiplayer unit, 2,700. When you're talking about play equipment, that's going to be robust and available to the public and children of all ages and the various ages and abilities and none of it comes very cheap. And we're just going to be very conscious that no, we're going to keep all the play areas up to a really good standard. It is going to be a pricey exercise. We're going to have to, it's going to take a taxpayers' money to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Sam.
Thank you. Yeah, so I understand we have to pay that because that's what the going rate is. I can't help comparing it with the cost of replacing equivalent parts on a car, which has similar safety applications. And I think that probably repairing play areas is a more profitable business than maintaining the cars.
Funny you should say that. I was thinking exactly the same thing, thinking about bending pipes and making things, but you know, the consequences of not doing it properly can be, quite shocking, not just in financial terms. Thank you for raising those points, and Ben.
It's also good to see that the ice rink at the Birdwood Centre's not going to be there after. My boots away.
A little bit of skating, a little bit of skating.
Could have sold tickets.
Okay, well, thank you for that, number 9. And moving on, again, we just note that we're not actually voting on anything there. And to approve the payments list. Is there anything that you would like to bring to our attention to this? Apart from, okay. And we have been meeting our ambition to be prompt payment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just one question on the defibrillator. what was that about? Missed it. It's on bottom of, nearly on the bottom of 3349. The second page in,
Oh, sorry,
on the bottom, London,
Oh, yeah.
quickly, 900.
that's a like maintenance of a machine or?
So this is actually a new machine.
New machine?
There is national funding that was available to install more defibrillators. We applied, was successful, but it was matched funding. It has been on the council wish list to install one, and forgive me, this doesn't sound like a good idea, but to install one at the cemetery. And the reason that
I know
the
exactly what
cemetery is
you're
on
gonna
is because we have actually had somebody who sadly passed away at the allotments due to a heart issue. And also we had somebody taken very unwell at a funeral at the cemetery. So hence why, but obviously it's at the cemetery because that's where we have the power supply. We don't in the allotments. So yes, that's our. That would be for installation and everything.
Wonderful. Basically, I'd like to thank Clark on that initiative and that we should publicise it.
Yeah, absolutely, we'll get to that in a second.
And a local business, have also installed another one in the industrial area of, Overside. In the papers recently.
Metal, wasn't it?
This is perhaps more of a question. Is there an app where you can find out where the nearest one is?
Cool. Dragon's
There
Den.
is, yes.
That's a great idea, isn't it?
You know, there's-
I think you have to register, Chairman, you have to register them.
But if you put 999, they will tell you.
Yes, and do we absolutely come to steps? Yeah, absolutely steps, sorry, my apologies.
It's about what you're saying, because I go to line dancing at the Memorial Hall,
Mm.
and we've been told this Friday, there's going to be a ceremony for the defibrillator in the small room, but we've been told that it won't affect us, it might affect them, because we're going to have our music on. And they're going to be trying to talk very seriously about a defibrillator, but that's the one that's fitted to the Memorial Hall, and it's some sort of celebration, and they're going to be put onto a map.
Yeah.
There is a national map.
I can confirm that there are various apps that do that.
Okay, and do we then, as a town council, have that information anywhere on our websites or any other information that we have about the locations, which would not seem unreasonable?
It's a good idea.
With that, with members' approval, of this.
Just would like to point out, I actually maintained the one in front of Waitrose, because that was put in by the local Rotary Club.
Yeah,
And we will have to go there, I think it's every week or every other week, just to make sure that the batteries are running properly. And sometimes you do a test button, and then the pads actually have to be changed
Every time.
every 3 years, 2 or 3 years.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a maintenance we need to.
No, absolutely, it's just if
It's a great idea. Maybe we could ask our mayor to actually open it officially and get a bit of publicity about it, so people are aware.
I will leave that to the mayor.
Of course.
Mayors to decide, mayoresses, stuff to things to decide, but that wouldn't be, it's not an unreasonable thing, it is pretty.
No, it's important.
And
They will like.
we have something like that on our notice boards around. You know, maybe say something on our notice boards in the recreation area saying, if you want to find a location, look on our website. Again, we're telling people what we've got, so.
I think that I would not encourage that, because I think the point is you want to encourage people to phone 999 and they will automatically be told where the nearest one is if they do that. Other things are slower. Actually,
Absolutely. Yeah, this is more leisurely searching for, not
yeah.
emergency shells.
Like there's one on Thatcham Hall as well, isn't there?
Yes, indeed, absolutely. I think that point has been well made, and thank you for bringing that to our attention. And of course, can I just confirm where we're going to put it at the cemetery, and it will be near the brick building?
Near the garages, that's
Oh.
the power.
Okay, so that's where the machinery is kept.
Yes.
Oh, that's over there, and it'll be clearly visible, not hidden amongst the shrubbery, if you know
No,
what I'm saying.
it will be very visible.
Okay, that's absolutely perfect, and thank you for that. Have we considered any other locations that might be suitable?
No, I think that was the only one on our wish list, so
Okay.
we can add some more suggestions.
So, okay. Because I'm not sure, I would have to get a map to pinpoint where they are, but, okay, well, thank you for that, that's very interesting. Okay, so we have to receive note. So, yeah. So we agree that,
Yes, so that does need a vote, please, Chair.
and so can I have a reporter and a seconder? Suzanne? And all those in favour, please indicate. And thank you very much. And then that is agreed. Now, it's at this point, we're going to start discussing item number 6, but we have to,
Resolve to exclude press and public.
so is there a formal set of words for that, or is it, we'll just repeat what you've just said?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I'd like to propose that we resolve to ask any members of the public to leave the meeting and that we enter into part 2. Can I have a seconder for that? Thank you very much. All those in favour, please indicate. Thank you very much. And then the recording will stop. Thank you. This meeting is now being recorded for the publication on Thatcham Town Council's YouTube channel, and welcome members of the public back again. And this is to formally vote on the decision. So we have a proposal that we accept. Sorry, you indicated.
The
Yes, you can,
intermediate.
recommendation.
That we accept the intermediate level surveyor at whichever rate is appropriate in the agenda. And have all those in favour, please raise your hands. Thank you very much. And that's then agreed. I'm sure for members of the public will be kept informed along the way on the progress on this. It's not going to be a quick resolve, but it's more about keeping the public abreast of what we're doing and our sensitivities for that particular historical location within Thatcham. Okay, thank you. Is there anything else I need to do before this item is then formally concluded? Okay, well, at that point, ladies and gentlemen, I can thank you for coming this evening. Thank you for your time and your input this evening, and I wish you all a good night. Thank you very much. Good evening.
yourself.